Chevron was working up to after 10 because we were talking in the group. I don't know if you were awake, but I was asking him at one point, let me tell you precisely when. I was asking him if they weren't finished yet. At 10:41, I think he sent us a picture of them singing the PNP's anthem to close the show. So it would have ended around about that time, 10:41. I think they started after 7, just after 7.
Right.
And they went through. So the PNP Manifesto, listeners, after taking custody of an electronic copy, when was this sent to me? This was sent to me at about, I wanted it at the right time. I got it at 12:09 a.m. from one of my brethren in the party. Clearly can't say who because we don't want to beat up that man. You understand? 12:09 a.m. I got my electronic copy. And when I got up, I took a read, and I've been leafing through in the time I've had this morning, which is not much because we have news and everything. So I've been attending to several things. But I've looked through, and my preliminary look on this PNP manifesto, which runs for 30 pages, the PDF version, the online version that I have. The presentation is very good. In terms of the look of the document, it looks good. You can see a lot of thought went to how the layout is. And just looking through preliminarily, it looks like a good document. It does look like a good document. Their mission, Jamaica Love. So what they've done, as Chevron would have explained in his rap, the news story we carried at 6, J, justice for all, the J in Jamaica. The A, access to quality education. M, modern infrastructure. A, agriculture and food security. I, innovation and industry. C, care for the vulnerable and health services. A, accountability in governance. And then love, Jamaica Love. So that's Jamaica. Love, land, housing and ownership. O, opportunity for youth. V, violence prevention and safer communities. E, environmental resilience. So Jamaica Love, the acronym. Yeah. Mission Jamaica Love. That's where the Jamaica Love comes from. And there are some items here that, as I say, it looks good on paper and the whole thing. So I zeroed in on what they had to say about crime, and they have it as violence prevention, and it is, I'm trying to find it back, page 30, no, page 26 on this PDF layout. Page 26, violence prevention and the safer communities. It is testament to where we are, where work to end violence and prevent violence is concerned. It's not a whole lot that is said right here, as would be said in previous electoral cycles by a party looking to take government. But the PNP acknowledging that some gains have made, even though, as you would expect, they contrast the number of homicides under this JLP administration with what happened the last time they were in government, and they speak to treating violence as a public health issue, which is not new from them because that's Peter Bunting's mantra, which of course informed his Unite for Change approach when he was the National Security Minister, and which is brought back here again. So they haven't said a lot on violence prevention and safer communities, which I think is a win for the country, that the party looking to take office does not spend a whole lot of time drilling down into what is wrong. Yeah, they acknowledge that there are some things that are fundamentally right, and they want to build that out with their approach to violence prevention and safer communities. It is necessary in the short time we have to, on top of what I've said about it being a good read and it looking like a good set of policies on paper, the criticism that the PNP will have to deal with is this. Why is it that some of your policies appear to be things that the government already has in train? But the time for that will come. You know, you can digest it and make of it what you will. We'll post it to our website for you to have ease of access, and I'm sure you can find it on the various PNP platforms. But I want to read for you two things. One, the message from the party president, Mark Golding, the overarching message to this manifesto. and then the concluding statement by the PNP. Before I go with the golden statement, several people, well, more than several, a lot of people made heavy weather of the JLP misspelling Jamaica in their manifesto. Yeah, and saying
their achievement book.
In the bigger part, their achievement book. And I recall one gentleman, looks like a distinguished gentleman, a retiree, very well dressed in a nice home, because he recorded it in his home, obviously. And he was saying, well, how can I be asked to support a political party when they can't even spell Jamaica right? And this I'm not even reading this beyond this point, because this is ridiculous. And I found that to be ridiculous, especially because in speaking, he wasn't even using the language properly. Yeah, so I said, but look at you talking about things spelled right, you can't even talk English good. But a lot was made of that one spelling error. I can tell you before you go that there are spelling errors in these. Yeah, there are a few. And at least one member, senior member of the PNP, says that they'll make the corrections in the online version that they'll release in a mass way later on this day. So there are those, but it's a printer's devil. And I thought that it was rather silly of those to dwell on Jamaica not being spelled correctly in the JLP's achievement book. And anybody who makes a song and dance about the errors here in spelling, churches wasn't spelled correctly, participatory, within, strengthening, just some of the words that were misspelled here, you won't get any time from me, because I mean, it's a printer's devil. It's much of muchness, if you ask me. The opposition leaders, the PNP president's message, he says, Jamaica stands at a decisive moment in our journey of nationhood. The People's National Party team is ready for the mission ahead, and I am honored to be entrusted with the historic task of leadership. I respectfully seek your support and pledge to respect it by working hard and honestly for you every single day, says Mark Golding. While the macroeconomic numbers have improved steadily since 2013 due to bipartisan commitment to a sustained program of fiscal reforms, the daily reality faced by our people is very different. Wages cannot stretch. Prices rise daily. Basic public services are substandard. Young people have too few opportunities, and communities across our country are trapped in poverty, crime, and neglect. Stability in the public finances without quality of life for the people is not prosperity, and is why the people are clamoring for change. Mark Golding continues, we understand both the progress and the pain because we have walked this road with you. We were the architects of Jamaica's celebrated macroeconomic reforms, from the key elements of the fiscal responsibility framework to the modernization of the revenue system, bringing the nation's debt under control and allowing a regime of inflation targeting to be introduced. Prior to that, our party initiated the fundamental social reforms that decolonized Jamaican society and created lasting programs like Path for our most vulnerable, the National Health Fund to support affordable health care, and JADEP for our seniors. We built institutions like the NHT and JUTC and modern infrastructure like the major highways, expanded seaports and airports, and we enabled investments in modern telecommunications and the transition to renewable energy through Wigton Wind Farm and the large solar projects. But the benefits of national development, Mark Golding says, have not reached far enough. Interior roads in every parish are in deplorable condition. Many communities do not have access to water in their homes. Urban blight and decay plague our cities, while rural Jamaica has been left behind. Farm roads are impassable. Irrigation is inadequate and outdated, and farmers lack the tools, machinery, and support systems to produce and prosper. This manifesto, the PNP president says, is our plan for a new chapter built on our vision, Jamaica Love. It stands on 10 pillars, and I gave you the pillars already, so I saved time by skipping those. He says these pillars are a compass. They will guide us to invest in people, close the gaps between uptown and downtown, between tourism zones and rural parishes, between the well-connected few who thrive while the majority feel neglected and dejected. We will protect economic stability and leverage it into inclusive and sustainable growth, creating a new era of opportunities for those who are now excluded from prosperity while tackling corruption and the abuse of power in governance. Jamaica, time come to lift our country higher and build a future that belongs to all of us. Let us take this journey together. So that's the message from the comrade leader in this manifesto that the PNP presented last evening at a long get-together at the Pegasus Hotel. They wanted to take the time to go into the details. The conclusion now, I'll read for you what the conclusion to the manifesto says. It says, Jamaica is at a crossroads. 63 years after political independence, we remain a society marked by stark class and color inequality. To continue down the path is to court disaster, a disaster that will eat away at our social fabric. Time come now. Well, there's an odd way that they've written the conclusion, but I'm reading it this way. Time come, now come to change course. Time come, now come to build a different Jamaica, one in which all social groups work together to create a nation where there is economic opportunity for all, respect and dignity for all, and a justice system that treats every person the same, no matter who they are or where they live. Time come, now come to reform apartheid education system that leaves too many students unprepared for the demands of the modern world, unable to make a decent living, and without a deep understanding of our history and rich culture. Time come, now come to feed ourselves, to create the conditions for true food security. Time come, now come for workers to be treated like human beings. Time come, now come for corruption to stop. Time come, now come for we the people to have a regular say over the things that impact our lives and to hold those we elect accountable. Time come, now come for a better health system that puts the patient first. Time come, now come for every Jamaican who dreams of owning a home to have a real chance to do so. Time come, now come for our creative talent to unleash its full potential upon the world. Time come, now come for Jamaica to be nice for everybody, not just for a few. Time come, now come for a new Jamaica. Time come, now come to vote for the People's National Party, the party of change. So, Mark Golding's message, then the concluding message in the PNP's manifesto. One of the criticisms it will face is that, well, several of the things you say here are already in train. It will also be told that the problem is your record in office. The fact is, Mark Golding has never been Prime Minister before. So the country has never seen his hand on the wheel, guiding policy, setting standards, and ensuring that the work of government is done to the benefit of the people, done efficiently, public resources are used smartly, and that the country is at the foremost of everything the government does. We've never seen Golding's hand on the wheel with a chance to do that. So that's what the PNP, I'm sure, will say, well, this is what we're committing to you. But the overhanging problem will be that, if I came from space and read the manifesto, I'd be very impressed with the party's vision. But the problem is the party's record in governance. The problem is the party, some of the people from the party who are positioned to serve as ministers to ensure that this vision materializes. Those are the problems. And also the problem is your form and posture on the campaign trail, the things that have been said and done. They will have to deal with those accusations, those pointers as to say, well, why should I believe this when I've seen you in action, when I've heard you speak day to day, and you don't give me the confidence that is transmitted in this document. But for the document itself, I think it's a good manifesto. I think it's comprehensive in terms of the issues that are important to our people and the approach. And the manifesto is big on approach. For every section, they say, okay, what's our approach? Our approach is this, that. And they adumbrate the points that they'll touch under their approach. I mean, just to set them out, yeah? That's what they've done. So I commit it to you. Give it a read, because it's only then that you can determine if in choosing Jamaica, you're choosing something better. Or you may read it and say, well, time come indeed to make a change, because what this PNP team is setting out to do, that's where I want my country to go. Don't be like those who will not read it and then criticize them the same way. Read it so at least you have a basis for criticism, you have a basis for acceptance, or you have a basis to reject and say, no, I have no reason to change course. But give it a read, because I think it'll be worth your time to understand what the PNP wants to do and how it intends to approach doing same.